All right, so my project was called the Contractors Union website, and the way that my team split it up is that I would handle all the HTML development work, and my partner, Ander, would handle all of the JavaScript development. So the overview of it is we were trying to create something similar to Angie's List, which is a online marketplace that allows users to go on and hire specific service providers for jobs that they may need completed. So our target audience would be anyone who really needs a service that our website can provide. Some of the functionalities. Near the beginning of the semester, we had less of an understanding of JavaScript, so that led to us not quite knowing the direction the class would go in. But as the class moved forward and we did more activities in JavaScript, we changed our goals to be more in line with that. So as you can see here, our JavaScript goals are um, to take data from a JSON file and use JavaScript functions to pipe it into our HTML file. And then our goals for HTML were kind of all-encompassing, all the things that we've learned in the class, like mainly a sidebar using a Flexbox, a horizontal navigation bar, being able to download files, and then like interactability, stuff like that. So the first part of our phase one deliverables was really just creating an overall layout for the website that we could use for every single page within the website. And so in this picture here, you can see like our different CSS style sheets for like our main grid, where our logo will go, where our banner will go, things like that. Then the second part of it was really filling out the content and figuring out how we wanted to format it. And so in this picture here, you can see our different div classes for like our logo, our banner, and our navigation bar. Then we get into phase two deliverables. This is where we start to um, fill in a lot of the content and make the website more interactable because we have the basis laid out. And so here you can see one of our interactable elements, which is the hiring form, which allows the user to go in, fill out all the items in the form, click submit, and then they get a little message saying that they've submitted it. Then the second part was to put all of our data in JSON files, then create a JavaScript function to pipe that data into our HTML. Um, some of the challenges we faced. Our first main challenge arose when we were developing the layout for our website. It was some compatibility issues. It was a lot of trial and error because what would happen is I would create the CSS layout and then maybe an image would be compressed, or maybe one of the boxes in our grid would be a little too large or a little too small. So it was a lot of messing around with that, but I think I got it to a place where it looks good on most sized screens. Um, and so the second issue came in with transferring our data from JSON to HTML. And the problem turned out to be that we were using the get element by ID function, but we hadn't actually named the div classes in our HTML with those IDs. We had actually mislabeled, and they were named what we had asked them to be named, but they were named as classes. So that was a slight oversight there. But after fixing that, things worked out. And then our final product functionalities. So our final product functionalities, the main highlights at least, are that we used most things available to us in HTML, like line breaks, horizontal rules, lists, different formatting techniques, stuff like that. And then a working navigation bar, first of all, on the side in our homepage using a Flexbox. And then second of all across the website, we have a horizontal one to take you to different pages. And then after that, we have implementation of HTML forms to give lots of interactability. I think we have 3 forms that the user can fill out. And then we also have lots of media implementation, like images and downloadable PDF files. Um, and then also our styling, we're happy with that because we managed to create a styling that we can use all across the website in all the different pages, color scheme and all that. And then finally, we have our JavaScript file, which reads from a JSON file and then puts all the data in the HTML document. We used that a couple times throughout the website, and it turned out well. So these are the main things that we thought worked well on our website, and they were our main goals. And so that worked out. Now we can go take a look at the website itself. Okay, so here we are on the actual Contractors Union website, and I guess we'll just go through this page by page. So here we are on the homepage, and you can see we have our logo here, and our coloring that we went with was white, this sort of like denim blue almost, and then black. right? And then we thought that that color scheme sort of worked all the way throughout. And then we also used this sort of grid layout all throughout. We have a section over here for our logo, then we have the banner, then we have a section for our navigation bar, then a label to tell you what page you're on, and then content boxes will usually look like this. We have a little margin, and then a rounded corner blue box with white text, and we thought that that was visually pleasing enough to be used all throughout the website. So let's dive into it. So here we actually have the nav bar, and something that was important to us was actually getting the CSS styling right, so that when you hovered over it, it showed, they change color, they invert a little bit. Text goes from black to white, right? Because you have the blue borders. And then we have this sidebar here, and this is actually using a Flexbox. And so within this Flexbox, each of these are buttons with images as the display. And it's sort of a small page, so they're not super helpful in this case, but we just wanted to demonstrate that we could do it, right? And besides that, so you have your About Us section here, which is just kind of general content, and then a feedback section, which actually demonstrates two of the things that I was talking about in the slideshow. We can, from here down, we have two methods of providing feedback. We can download the feedback PDF form right from this button, or we could go to the feedback page, right? And so those are two options. One would be an in HTML form, and the other would be an actual external page that you have to fill out. And we'll go to that in 1 second, but before I do that, just wanted to demonstrate, we do have our header up here with all this, our body content right here with this, and then we threw in this little footer to stick within the little world we built for ourselves with this website. So we say established 1998, copyright 2024, all that. And so, all right, let's go and click on this form. So we go to the form, and here we have, it's labeled feedback. You have the same header up here, except this label is now feedback. And then down here, it also says feedback page. So we kept the footer mostly the same for everything, except we changed that. Just to add in a little bit more immersion, let's say. But within the feedback page, you have fields for your name, email. You can say what kind of customer you are, infrequent or frequent, or somewhere in the middle. Then you can upload a photo or document that's relevant to the feedback you want to provide. You can rate your experience and give extra comments. And then, like, if we need to reach out to you, you can actually give us a time to do that, and we'll do that. Then down here, you just have to agree to the terms and conditions. But let's say that we want to read over them, know what we're getting into. Then there's also a link to that, which is another page that we have here, which is fairly short. I didn't want to type up a whole terms and conditions page. But yeah, so we have contractor details, user details, miscellaneous at the bottom. But when you click OK, it will bring you back to the homepage. And that little loop that we just went on demonstrates something that I was talking about in the slideshow a little bit, which is that interconnectivity, right? Wherever you are, there's a link to go somewhere else. There's something for you to interact with, something, because this website, we didn't want it to feel self-contained to whatever page you're on. So there are those links inside of the content, right? And if you didn't want to use those links, the two pages we actually just went to, the feedback and terms of service, are directly accessible here. So you could click on them here and do that. And you can go back home, of course. But now let's talk about these main content pages. So we have the contractors page, which is really the main content of this website. This example has only 6, 2 per category, but theoretically it would go on as many as there were, right? And the other cool thing about this is that all of the content on here, or most of the content at least, was sourced from a JSON file. This title down here where it says contractors, and then the name, the like subtitle of the organization, their skills, their ratings, their date of next availability, and cost to hire were all on there. And so this is our main page of content, just showing how we use our content boxes, and we implement these images here. And then down here, you always have the option to go to a hiring form or a link. And so let's say we want to go to a hiring link, right? Then this isn't directly accessible just up here because it's specific to a contractor, right? But you can fill it out with each of these fields. You have to type in some of these specifications, then submit after accepting the terms and conditions once again, right? But that's the meat of our contractors page, right? And so then we can move on to the news page, which is fairly short, but I just wanted to demonstrate more content, right? And so we have we're using some more HTML styling elements where we have these like horizontal rules and then like bold and headings and stuff like that. Then we can go over to about, and that just gives you some information about the website, some stuff we just made up, right? Um, like, wherever the trademark is, wherever we operate from, the net worth of the company, so things like that, just to demonstrate more content and more HTML things that we can do, like lists, of course. Then we can go to our services, and this sort of just lets you um, filter out what kind of contractors you want to see. The styling here was just that, like, when you hover over something, it kind of changes and grows bigger, right? And that's just a little example of one of the things we can do. But overall, the main thing we were aiming for was just cohesiveness and demonstrating that we can complete all the tasks that were shown in this over the course of this class, right? So we're using all the things that we've been taught, like lists, downloadable forms, um, actual HTML forms that we can fill out, all sorts of things like that, links to other pages. Um, it was just, we wanted to demonstrate that we could handle HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSON files, all of that in cohesion with one another. And I think we achieved a semi good looking website that demonstrates all of those aspects. So um, yeah, that would be what it comes down to. All right.
Hi, I'm Ander, and I worked on the JavaScript portion of the Worldwide Contractors Union project with Cole. Um, and I didn't really think there was a whole lot we needed to use JavaScript for in the project, but we did make this JSON file for the contractors page, then another for the about page. That one's a little small, but this has info for all the different contractors here. And we used that in the, let me see over here, in the contractors .javascript file just to get that information into the project. I know Cole already explained that better earlier, but um, yeah, some of the challenges I faced in the project writing JavaScript were, just learning the code. It's a new language, especially this fetch function, but yeah, just learning how to write the functions in JavaScript, just getting everything to work with the website how it needed it to. Um, Something I definitely improved with this project, and I'll definitely need to improve it more. But I think with what we had learned, I think we did a good amount of work here.